Hello and welcome back. Lately I've been talking about dementia, living with family, friends that have dementia, some of the funny times, some of the times that you want to cry, some look fors, some suggestions. Definitely looking for you to contact the medical provider to make sure that you are walking in compliance with what that particular person may need or their wants are. So, I'm going to flip the script a little bit and I'll come back to that a little later because that's an ever evolving, involving disease. And so, switching gears to something else that is come up and is becoming a trend. What I see amongst people my age, a little younger, a little older, is this trend with plastic surgery. Now, I know personally that a lot of physicians don't just elect to allow you to have plastic surgery. You have to have a cause and effect for them to say we can combine these two things, something that is needed with something that you want. So, what is the trend? Currently, I see, unfortunately, a lot of lifestyles, a lot of the foods that we're intaking, the environmental concerns are causing individuals at a higher rate to develop some forms of cancer. I know within my friend group or associate group, there is a common discussion now. It's like, oh, yeah, I was diagnosed with this particular type of cancer. I have a pre onset diagnosis of cancer. It possibly can result in cancer. I know for historical reasons or during out the time, far as melanated or black women, they've always been plagued, even if it was the case that cancer was present or it was not present. But it was always suggested that black women have hysterectomies, and those hysterectomies would result in us not reproducing if you were subjected to that. I know as technology advances, more people are electing to have that particular surgery because they feel like they're not going to reproduce any longer and they don't want to stand a chance of developing cancer as they progress in age. But what is surprising is the conversation that is nonchalantly having amongst people. Now, surprisingly, not only is it females, we are seeing a larger increase of males also having this particular discussion. So, I just want to give you some information and we're going to go into the trend of having a particular diagnosed cancer or a precancerous diagnosis and what's the follow-up after that. And so that's stick with me a little bit as we endeavor into this process. So there was a time in history when you heard the word cancer, you immediately had a very strong reaction. Some reactions came from crying, dismay, some was doubt, some was a historical display of just, I can't believe that this is happening to me. No one else in my family has cancer, or there is a history of cancer, and you was hoping and wishing and praying that it would bypass you. With the diagnosis, what we're seeing that there is an increased rate, as I said before, not only in females, but in young people and also in men. With the advances in technology and the science and the studies, we know that a large percent of the cancer diagnosis, when detected early enough, will not end in death. However, there are some long lasting scars that people are dealing with. And some of those scars change a person's personality and they change who they are. And so, what happens in that particular case after the cancer is removed, people are now electing to have vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the vanity and aesthetic surgeries. So, let's look at that. So, the We know that a lot of people in the US, and I can speak for that, at some point in time have a breast scare or they have a lump. I know personally, I just had a friend that had a lump and she had to go to a couple of specialists to have it biopsy to see what was present. If there was a scare there, we know that breast cancer is on the rise. We also know that with the detection, breast cancer can easily be removed if it has not spread. If it has spread, we know currently that a lot of young women or women, older women, are electing to have the breast removed so that the chances of the cancer coming back is non in existence. But we also see the trend that people that are doing that are taking the opportunity to have fat pockets moved from other areas that they didn't want there and using that in their breast area. And they're being able to form them and give them the size that they particularly wanted in the first place. And so in that case, they're using their own materials. They're getting something that they always wanted done at a healthier per se rate, and they're living their best life. And that's just one instance for breast cancer. I also know that cancers in the lower regions, that people are taking that opportunity to have the cancer removed, and also within that lower region, say in their stomach areas or in their gluteus maximus areas, they're having the opportunity to again to either shrink the area or enlarge the area. And I asked this question to them: is it that you had the cancer and it's making you feel better, or is it the fact that this surgery can now exist on top of the cancer and your insurance pay for it? And 9 times out of 10, the response was because they have the cancer removed and is in the central location where the other aesthetic surgery they wanted to have done, the doctors are writing it up and the insurance are able to pay for the whole thing. So I asked this question to my doctor. I hadn't had cancer, thank God, but I've had some I would say, some vanity surgeries here and there done. And I asked my doctor, because I know I have a very good insurance company, hey, how about you remove some of my fatty areas or tissues in my abdomen area, my stomach, and donate it? And commonly, in each and every time, I've had the same response from my physicians to say, no, you're not big enough. You don't need it. Go do some crunches. I don't know. I also noticed that with some people that are having surgeries up on their face, they are electing to have maybe skin, what do you say, skin peels, or they moles removed, or enhancements, and you know, fine wrinkle lines, and all of these done. I know, and it appears to me that cancer, the survival of cancer, the cancers that are detected very on the onset of cancers, are allowing people to make cancer the new plastic surgery. So let's have a conversation, discussion about this. I am What the Cook Reads. I am here with everything medical. I'm going to come back later with some statistics, some numbers about what are the trends that we're seeing in cancers, what are people doing once they have cancer, where are they going? I know a lot of people that I talk to, they are electing to leave the US and they're going to Mexico, which they say is extremely inexpensive there. They are catching flights over to Turkey, they are going over to Panama. Everyone is leaving the US of A to go somewhere else to have their cancer not only treated or removed, but to also have other surgeries. Again, let's talk about this. Let's leave some comments and as we go forward and look at what are some causations for even the development of cancer. I'll see you soon. Thank you.